Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Raw Review, April 8th. What do we get in this Raw Review? Much of the same of last night. In fact, I was actually quite angry at some of the things that were brought up in this Raw. I mean, there's some good stuff in the Raw. Just like in almost any review, there's always going to be a positive and negative. Any show, there's a positive and negative. And this show wasn't that bad. It was an improvement over WrestleMania, but very little of an improvement. I mean, finally things are going in a certain direction, but look. Some things should have been done in WrestleMania. They screwed the pooch on it. Now, I'm sure a lot of people thought that the rating I gave for WrestleMania 29 of a B- was too generous. It was not a great WrestleMania, and I said that clearly. This WrestleMania 29 was not great. But I had to give the rating because of the few things that were done right. Much of the predictions that I made, I thought that might happen, did happen. The match between Undertaker, I'm sorry, I'm still congested. The match between Undertaker and Punk really put it over the top for me. That was the only thing that made it bump up from an easy C to a B-. That one match. And there's no way you can deny that was the match of the night. And you can't tell me that you weren't interested in that one match only. So I had to give it that B- rating. But if it wasn't in there, if that wasn't on the card, it would be an easy C and below. It was not a good show. Now, how was this show? It was a bit of a step up. But really, certain things that were done here really enraged me. I'm going to begin with the thing that should have never been done at the pre-show of WrestleMania 29. The IC Championship between Wade and The Miz. Why in blue fuck, if The Miz was only going to be allowed 5-minute program with Wade, and it's bad enough The Miz and Wade Barrett was bumped to the pre-show when they should have been on the main show. They deserve to be on the main show. No matter even if the feud has not been built properly. They worked their asses off throughout the year. They deserve this. But they get a 5-minute match on a show that was an hour and 26 minutes long. And I'm talking about the pre-show. I ranted about this in the beginning of my review for WrestleMania 29. And this just justifies why I was beyond fucking mad. You get a good match from these guys on Raw. There's no way you can deny they have some good chemistry. They do. It's not great, but it's good. But Wade gets the win. Why? You should have just let Wade keep the belt on the pre-show. Because The Miz and Wade deserve better. Wade deserved better. Even though the crowd, and I'll get to the crowd in this Raw particularly, because this is what made the Raw better for me. But Wade deserved better than this. Why did he have a job on a pre-show instead of the main show? And then the next night on Raw, he gets the title back. It made no sense. They should never put the IC Championship on the line in a pre-show. I feel that both these guys got fucked over seriously. They did. This made no sense. The match, like I said, was not a bad match. But forget about the match. These guys got fucked over by the WWE, and that beyond fucking enrages me. The next thing is ADR versus Dolph. And I will get to ADR with Zed and the Trucker in a minute. But I'm going to say this clearly. That should have happened on WrestleMania 29. ADR did not need that win. I said in my WrestleMania 29 review, the reason I believe that Jack Swagger did not win that title, because the way they were structuring it, it was just too apparent that he looked like he was going to win this. Because they really wanted to bring the angle of the Jack Swagger America around. He should have won it. But because of what he did by getting arrested, smoking weed in his car, and now having a court appearance soon, I think not far from now, maybe about a month or before a month, he really fucked himself up. So I believe that night that ADR didn't want to sell anything for him because he didn't feel like he deserved it. If you saw that WrestleMania match, you saw ADR got his ankle locked up 3 times and anyone would be selling it, and he refused to do it. But this time, he did, and that led into the match with him and Dolph. And then Dolph wins the title on a show instead of a pay-per-view. He deserved a pay-per-view win. No matter if you think Dolph is just the one best jobber they have or not, the man puts in the time. He does do very good matches even if he's generally jobbing. And I believe no matter if you like him or not, he deserved a win on WrestleMania. This was a travesty. Travesty to ADR where he should lose the title on the show properly. And it's a travesty to Dolph because Dolph has never gotten a really good signature win on any pay-per-view. Not saying he hasn't had at least one in the last year or so. He's had at least one, I'm sure of it. But the point is that he deserves better than this. And it's bullshit. Bullshit. By the time of this, my rating for this show was low. I was near D. That's how angry I was. And I'm going to move on from there. And I'm going to move on to ADR the Trucker. I can say, after seeing this match that leads into Dolph with ADR, ADR was selling it much better. And then that made me think there's something going on. Because he wasn't willing to sell it on the pay-per-view. Why the fuck is he going to sell it on Raw? And that made me realize there was something about to happen. And that's what happened with Dolph that I said earlier. The match itself was not a bad match. Really, Jack Swagger did a much better job than he wrestled the last time. I'm not saying Jack Swagger's the be-all, end-all of wrestling. No. But he did step up a little bit. His moves seem a little bit cleaner. Not by much, but a little cleaner. ADR selling his injuries much better. Actually, next to feeling that made me angry, wasn't bad. It made me feel better. So, Zed on the that handicap match, seeing Zed there going, that was funny. It was. And I'm going to leave it at that. Next. And I'll be putting 2 in the title. A dead man feud. Undertaker coming to the ring actually gave me a little fear. He didn't do this last year. At least much. The year before, I believe he did come to the ring after WrestleMania and spoke. But last year, I don't remember if he did. If he did, leave me a comment below. But, sorry, I am still congested. But I felt seeing him come to the ring actually gave me a little fear because I thought maybe this might be his last match. I'm glad it wasn't. Seeing the Shield come down was actually quite a surprise. I didn't expect him to come down because since I don't have a Twitter account yet, and the reason, if anyone's wondering why don't I have Twitter, I'm still the type that's a bit shy. And I'm working on that. I'm still kind of the person that still gets a little nervous about comments and people's attitude. Eventually I will get a Twitter. But I'm working out I'm a bit shy, like I said. And I'm trying to work through that. So I didn't see the response from the Shield on Twitter. I haven't. So seeing the Shield was actually kind of a surprise. But then Hell No coming out. And Daniel Bryan looked like Kane or... Daniel Bryan looked like either Kane or Taker's kid. That's how fucking small he was. They're like this, he's like this. He looked like their son. One of their son or nephew. That's how fucking small he looked to them. But then that makes me think, why are they teasing a feud between Hell No and Undertaker versus The Shield? I would be quite interested in seeing The Undertaker come back to do a short program. I'm not going to lie about it. That's the reason why I'm putting something about The Undertaker in my title. I don't believe this is going to happen. I don't. Maybe hell no, yes with the Shield, and maybe something somewhat entirely different. Maybe it would be a big show again. Maybe someone else. But I don't believe there's going to be a hell no and the Undertaker or the Brothers of Destruction with Daniel Bryan, as Michael Cole said, against the Shield. Like I said, if this goes into Extreme Rules, dude, I will be more than interested to watch. But not if they make the Undertaker start doing a hug segment. No. If they try that bullshit with hugging, like they did earlier, when they did that with Edge, better not. The Undertaker does not do hugs. The Undertaker is not a guy who deserves to have his personality changed. They better not do that shit. So I'm going to leave it at that. Next, the Kofi Kingston and Fandango match. Finally, we get the match between these two. And I said this in my WrestleMania 29 review. A Fandango, a Johnny Curtis, really to me is trying to get off as a Buddy Rogers or Nature Boy Buddy Rogers. I'm sorry if anyone thinks that was disrespectful. I apologize. A Nature Boy Buddy Rogers type of attitude. If anyone wants to check up on Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, go YouTube it. You can see him prancing and dancing around the ring in the middle, the beginning, or near the end. Because usually from what I've seen with the few videos I have seen of his matches on YouTube, this man, he was a great shooter from what I could tell. That's just me. But he really pranced around the ring and danced around the ring and just showed such charisma. A Johnny Curtis doesn't even come close to it. Now I want people to understand, comparing him to a Nature Boy Buddy Rogers or a Nature Boy Ric Flair, they are light years ahead of him. He doesn't even have what's in their nail off their pinky, a little corner of a centimeter off of their pinky. He doesn't even come close. So don't think that he's doing well and you think I'm thinking that. He doesn't even come fucking close to that. But he's trying it. We didn't get anything before with Johnny Curtis before when he was first introduced. Now they're trying something entirely different with him. They're trying a Flair or Buddy Rogers type of attitude. Now, will this work? I don't know. It depends on how well he can sell this. I don't think he can. I'm hoping I'm wrong. But if they do this, and like I say before, if you got shit and you're going to work with it and make lemonade out of it, they're going to push this boy to the moon and up our ass as best as possible in hopes that some part of it is going to get over. And the thing that got me, and this is about the crowd, and I'm about to get to the crowd in a minute, that made the show. They were humming Fandango's theme music. Oh shit, I'm sorry. That was fucking cool. That really made that match. It did. Hearing them hum his music and hearing commentary when it came to the fans and the crowd was epic. But I'll get to that in a second, literally. But this was good. It really gave a more better depth to this match. It did. It gave great depth to this match. And then when Chris came out and beat the shit out of him, it just reinforced the feud. And that was alright. Now moving on to the fans. And I could leave this for the end because the fans made this show. And I saw the British Fist title about the crowd. And I'm sure the Off the Rope show. I haven't seen their shows yet. Have not. And OTR Central is now doing reviews again. I'm hoping they'll allow me to connect this video because I understand before they weren't doing it. So if you guys do connect it, thank you. I can say this. I've seen crowds before chanting and raging and singing and stuff like that and wrestling on and off over the years of my life. But I have to say that this was one of the best crowds I have ever seen. This crowd during the Sheamus and Orton match was epic. Not only did they cheer for HBK, this is one ones I could hear. Not only, I had to write it down because there was so many. RVD, HBK, they did a wave in the crowd. They did Lawler. They sounded great with JBL. JBL said, hey, these guys are great. They're huge, smart guys. And then when they did Cole, King said it best. We need to go to commercial. Dude, that was the greatest thing I ever saw. That one match, when it came to Sheamus and Orton and Fandango, and throughout the night, periodically, they made that show. If it wasn't for that for them, this would be an F rating on this show. Even with the things that gone, the show was epic because of it. And I say this: what makes a show is roughly three things. One, you need decent storylines during a show. Two, if you can, put in some surprises. And three, what makes both the storylines and the surprises work are the fans. Without the fans, this will never work. You can't make a show work for the people that are watching at home if the fans at the arena does not buy it. So I'm sure many people are going to say, why did you give this rating? It's because of the fans. The fans were fucking epic. You cannot say the fans did not make this show. Without the fans, this show would be shit. And believe me, just like with the Undertaker and CM Punk match, like I said earlier, for WrestleMania 29, they made that show. This is the same way. Now, Sheamus and Randy Orton. I'm going to get this done now. The match itself was actually quite good. And seeing them both, at first I got angry seeing Sheamus wanting to go after Big Show because I'd really rather see Randy Orton. But then seeing Randy Orton doing the same thing as Sheamus, going to the supervising whatever, and Vicky Guerrero, and I have to say Vicky kind of looks cute with the blonde hair. She's not a great looking woman, but she does look kind of cute with that blonde hair. She looks young and she looks kind of cutish. So I'm not going to lie about that. She looks cute. But Booker T and Vicky both decide to give these guys a match to go after Big Show, which is not a bad thing. At least then we're going to have something different, hopefully. We haven't seen these guys go up against each other for almost a year, at least. So it wasn't something that we haven't seen in a few weeks or a few months. And the crowd, like I said, was so fucking epic. Even these guys had to stop and go like this and say, what the fuck is wrong with these fucking people? This is epic. I saw the look on both Sheamus and Randy Orton. I'm sure Randy got a bit of a boner. There's no way he could not. This was fucking epic. That crowd, which hyped them up. If the crowd is into something, even if it's not totally related to you, it will make your experience as a wrestler more epic. And you're going to want to even put on even a better match, which these guys were trying to do and did a decent job. By the end of the match, Big Show comes out and beats the shit out of both of them. There is no clear winner. So what do I believe? There might be a three-way match between these guys by Extreme Rules. I really believe this is going to happen, which won't be a bad thing. It's something different. Yeah, it involves a Sheamus and a Big Show, but then throwing Randy Orton in is not bad. It's not. You got three big-ass egos and one that's just a big-ass man in a three-way match. I'm hoping that's what's going to be for Extreme Rules. If they do this, it's stupid. I mean, if they do this before Extreme Rules, it's stupid. I'm sorry. It's really hard to think when you can't breathe very well. Now, let's see what else we got here. It's just hard to breathe, ladies and gentlemen. The match of the mixed tag with the Bellas and Rogue Scholars versus the Dancing Giants and Funkadactyls, which was bumped off the show last night, was started here, near the end of the night. And this just makes me even still angry. It's not the point that this was a good match or a bad match. It's not the point. The point is that WWE budgeted their time terrible on their show of WrestleMania 29. They budgeted that shit so badly that even if this was a shitty match, it deserved to be on the pre-show, along with the IC Championship, and the Divas Championship, and the US Championship. You could have had 5 matches, and you could have done it. But the WWE is always so fucking stingy, they only want to give you a short match on their pre-show. Like stupid bitches. I never understand that shit. Anyone agree with me? Leave a comment below. But the match itself, it wasn't that great. Naomi did open the match with one of the Bella twins. And as I said before, Cody Rhodes is a lucky fucking motherfucker. He got a chance to have the beautiful sensuous legs of a Naomi around his neck. And I keep saying this. And tell me below what you think. Quietly, it feels like they're trying to push Naomi. Very quietly. Because again, Naomi opened the show. Or not opened the show, opened the match. Even though it was with a Bella. Then she does a head scissor on a Cody Rhodes. Why in the fuck would they keep letting her start the match unless they really believe there's something there? Now the person that got the pin, surprisingly, was Brodus Clay over Damien Sandow. Are you serious? I would expect Damien getting the pin. I would expect Cody Rhodes getting the pin. Hell, I would have expected maybe a Tenzai. He's a very old veteran. Out of everyone there, Tenzai is the oldest veteran there. Even if he's not well packaged right now. And that's a long shot for Tenzai. And I'm saying this really clearly. Tenzai would have been the very last person I would have thought to get the pin. Other than one of the Bellas. Other than Damien or to Cody. And particularly the one I predicted, which was Naomi, who opened the match. But Brodus Clay on a Sandow? Are you serious? I'm not against Brodus Clay. I actually quite like him. But I didn't expect him to get that. And if he should have gotten that, maybe he should have got it on WrestleMania or the pre-show. He's been stuck with a bad character for quite a long time. So if he was going to get a win like that, he deserved it on the pre-show, which also fucking angers me. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, let me see. One of the few things I want to add to this before I get to the Cena and Mark Henry match is that knowing WrestleMania 30 is going to be at New Orleans is actually surprised. Actually surprised me. At first it did anger me because, hey, taking away from me being in New York. And I did see the original WrestleMania. Unfortunately, my parents did not get the tickets for it. We had cable, so we watched it. But the thing that did get me angry was that this is kind of a special thing that WrestleMania, the 1, the 10, the 20, and the 30 has always been in Madison Square Garden. Either they couldn't get it, or they thought maybe let's switch it up. Let New Orleans get it. At first it did get me angry, but then I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not New Orleans get it? They went through a lot of stuff during Katrina. And it's not a bad thing to let another city get a very special thing as a WrestleMania milestone like a 30. And I have no real problem with it. I admit I did at first. Took me about a minute to really let it sink in and think, WrestleMania is not going to happen at Madison Square Garden. I didn't really think about it before. I've heard about it, but I didn't think about it. What the fuck? And then I go, wait a minute. Wait, calm down. What's wrong with New Orleans? It's not bad. It's a cool place. Hell, I would like to go there and go to Mardi Gras. I've never been there in my life. But you know what? That's what I thought. Now, finally, the match that is also supposedly in my title, I'm hoping to put in, along with The Undertaker. Seeing in the beginning of the show with a Cena trying to play to the crowd, and the crowd weren't having it. Yeah, at one point they did start to cheer with him and stuff, but the crowd did not want to have anything with this. Nothing. They didn't even care about John Cena. They were not happy with what happened. So that was something interesting. Then seeing a Mark Henry and then a Booker T come out made me think, no, this is a fucking tease. There's no way they're going to let Mark Henry win this match. This is not fucking fair. I want to see my fucking Mark Henry win. And then we see the match, and what do we get? A fucking count out! Motherfucker. That made me angry. It did, I'm not gonna lie. I got angry as fuck seeing that Mark Henry did not win this match. I got angry as fuck that it would have been bad enough to get an AA on a Mark Henry, because he's done it before. But a fucking count out? Are you serious? I'm glad he put him in the fucking Hall of Pain. I'm glad John Cena got inducted into Hall of Pain. He deserved that shit. But then what do we get? Ryback coming out. And then basically beats the shit out of a Mark Henry, helps up a Cena, and then shell shocks his ass. And now, holding the title high over his head, feed me more, do we get from a Ryback. So now we're going from a possible, that would have been an interesting feud of Mark Henry, who has not gotten the WWE title, ever as far as I know, to a Ryback. That pisses me out, even pisses me off even more. I would have been more interested and invested in a Mark Henry and a John Cena. Not saying I wouldn't be interested in what's going to happen with Ryback. They have not pushed him properly. He basically has been going on the slide, ladies and gentlemen. I think soon they may drop him. Just like they do with a lot of their talents. They pull the rug from out from under them. By Extreme Rules, if Ryback does not win the title, because I think he's going to be going after it, honestly, they're going to let him drop if he doesn't start winning something. So, this is my thoughts on Raw April 8th. My rating, because of the crowd mainly, I give this a B-. Again, I could give this simply a C. Really, it was not a great show. And I really was considering giving this a C or a C+. But the crowd was too epic. I know people, if they see this, and say, dude, the show sucked. Why do you continue giving them a pass? I'm not. But when you do these reviews, you have to be objective. It's not just how you feel about your own feelings. You got to be objective enough to really see what was really done and what had happened. And like in WrestleMania 29, and I said that it was the Undertaker match, and I say this again, the Undertaker match put it over the top for me. That's why they even got a B- rating, because they would have got a C or C+. This again, you can't tell me that the crowd didn't make the show. Everything could be disregarded, and you could see how the crowd was acting, and it was epic. So you got to give it this, at least for me. Anyone else, you could give me your rating. Tell me how you would have rated the show. But this is how I felt. And for The Rock, knowing that his abs have now been, one of his abs has been ripped from his pelvis, if it is true, I hope Rock gets better, and I hope he feels better. And that does upset me. I'm hoping he'll be okay. Now, I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. And the Hall of Fame class, I have not seen it yet. I'm going to do a separate review on that. That's why I didn't say anything in WrestleMania or here. I will be doing my own mixed bag of wrestling on the Hall of Fame class of 2011. So I hope you have a good day and have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. And I say again, thank you so much for your oh man, just knowing that you like my WrestleMania review, it's shocking. Thank you so much for caring and commenting, even if you think I don't understand what I'm saying. Thank you.